All right, let's dive into something that honestly goes against every instinct we have. The idea that sometimes silence is actually way more powerful than explaining yourself. We're going to look at how choosing to be quiet can be the very thing that helps you find your footing when everything else feels like it's shaking.
I mean, have you ever been completely misunderstood? Of course you have. We all have. It's that awful gut punch feeling when someone twists your words, misreads your intentions, or just flat out judges you without even trying to get your side of the story. Ugh, it is just the worst.
And when that happens, something just boils up inside you, right? It's this overwhelming urge, this voice screaming in your head, I have to fix this, I have to explain myself. They need to know what really happened. And the thought of just staying quiet? No way. It feels like you're just giving up, like you're letting them win the argument.
Okay, but let's just pause for a second and challenge that whole instinct. What if we've got it all wrong? What if silence isn't losing? What if it's actually leadership?
So look at this comparison. Our default setting, our common view, is that silence means we're losing, that it's a sign of weakness. But what if the deeper truth is the complete opposite? What if silence is actually a sign of controlled strength, of leadership? It totally flips the script.
You know, this idea isn't new at all, it's ancient. King David in the Psalms is in the middle of this huge mess, right? People are against him, misunderstanding him, and instead of just lashing out, he writes this. Now, this isn't him just giving up, no. This is him actively choosing to find his solid ground, his unshakable foundation when everything else is chaos. That's controlled strength.
So here's the key idea. This kind of silence has a name. It's called governance. And really, it's just the ability to say to yourself, nope, I'm not going to let all this pressure decide how I respond. It's about being in charge of your own reaction. You know, think about Jesus standing before Pilate. He's facing these crazy accusations, and sometimes he answers, but other times he's totally silent. It wasn't because he didn't have a comeback. It was because he knew exactly when to speak and when silence was the most powerful move.
And this all leads to a really powerful realization. Truth doesn't always need us to jump in and be its bodyguard, you know? Sometimes the best thing you can do for the truth is to just step back and let it breathe. It can stand on its own without all of our frantic, anxious explanations trying to prop it up.
All right, so how does this ancient wisdom even apply to our world today? I mean, we live in a super loud, super fast-paced world where the pressure to react instantly is just insane.
Think about it. Our whole world is built around speed. You get a text, you gotta reply now. Someone challenges you online, you have to defend yourself immediately. Post that hot take, prove you're right. It's this constant cycle, and man, it can absolutely destroy your peace of mind.
But here's the secret. You don't have to play that game. Real emotional maturity is learning restraint. It's realizing that not every little comment, not every snarky question, not every accusation deserves a piece of your energy. Because honestly, over-explaining just makes things messy, and constantly defending yourself will just leave you exhausted.
And this is where silence becomes your superpower. It draws a line in the sand. It separates who you are from what they're saying about you. It's this quiet, confident statement to the world and to yourself that says, I know who I am. My identity isn't based on your opinion of me. It's anchored to something much deeper and more permanent.
So, this all sounds good, but how do we actually do it? Let's make this super practical. I want to give you a simple toolkit for building that quiet strength, something you can pull out the next time you feel that pressure building. Okay, here it is. It's a simple 4-step process, but it is so effective. The next time you feel provoked, just remember this. First, you pause. Then, you ask 3 quick questions. Third, you choose restraint. And finally, you pray for wisdom. That's it. So let's break down those questions, because they're your filter. First, is this really worth my peace? Seriously, is it? You're weighing the costs right there. Second, am I responding or am I just reacting? This is huge. It's the difference between being thoughtful and just being emotional. And number 3, will my explanation actually bring clarity, or is it just going to lead to more exhaustion? Be honest with yourself.
And I really want to make this clear. When you choose restraint, you're not running away. This isn't avoidance. It's not fear. It is a powerful choice, an act of wisdom. You're saving your peace and your energy for the things that actually matter.
So what if the next time you're totally misunderstood, instead of firing off that long, defensive text, you just took a breath and said this quiet prayer?
It's pretty much a summary of everything we've talked about, and it's an amazing tool to help you find that unshakable foundation, anchoring your peace not in what other people think, but in a quiet strength that, you know what, it just doesn't need to explain itself.